The current state of the debate is more with the problem of reciprocity. The world powers, EU 3+3, they are asking their maximums in the first step from Iran, and they are not ready to reciprocate with maximum, even not with the middle. They are only offering the minimum. That's why the negotiations failed. Unfortunately, I'm not optimistic for any breakthrough before Iranian presidential elections. Actually, the main talks have been already held in 2012, 2013, with no outcome. That's why there is no reason for me to be optimistic for any progress before Iranian presidential election. Economically, definitely has had a great negative impact on Iranian economy. This is not secret. The Iranian national currency depreciated about 300% in a year or two. But if the objective of the sanctions have been a way to resolve the nuclear problem, I believe the sanctions, they have played a completely counterproductive role and impact. Because before sanctions, Iran had about 2,000 centrifuges. After sanctions, Iran has 12,000 centrifuges. Before sanctions, Iran was enriching at the level of 3.5. After sanctions, 20%. They are enriching at 20%. Before sanctions, the stockpile of uranium was below 100 kilograms. And after sanctions now is over 8,000 kilograms. Therefore, they have had sanctions, no doubt. Sanctions have harmed Iranian economy, specifically Iranian ordinary people and life. But this has pushed Iran toward more enrichment and more progress in its nuclear program in order to show the world powers that they are not going to surrender under sanctions. There has been second track and first track meeting between Iran and the US, even in 2012. We had first track, which is confidential, but I know there has been first track meeting. The key issue is whether the US is prepared or would be prepared to engage with Iran on a broad base or not. Americans, they say their problem is not limited to nuclear. They are right. But Iranians, they are inviting them for a broad negotiations, including nuclear, to resolve all the problems or to engage or to discuss about all the problems. To yet, Americans, they have no strategy, no decision to engage with Iran on broad basis. And whether after election, the US, after Iranian presidential election, whether the US would change its strategy, this remains a question. But to me, we would be able to have a real breakthrough if there is a meaningful direct negotiations which should contain issues beyond nuclear. I'm really disappointed with my European friends because Europe has lost its weight and role and is completely following the US. And this is not good for the US. Because within the US, we have US administration, President Obama, State Secretary John Kerry, Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel. They are really looking for an opportunity to engage with Iran. They really mean it, and they want it. At the same time, we have Congress with pressure lobbies like AIPAC, which they are preventing the administration. Obama wants engagement, the Congress doesn't like it. If the EU change its role and play a proactive engagement policy, practically EU would support Obama and would isolate the hawkish radical policies. But sometimes, unfortunately, I'm really sorry to say, in 2011, 2012, sometimes EU was more Catholic than Pope. EU started sanctioning Iran, central bank, and oil. Then the US followed. It was not supposed. The EU's role, always after the Iranian Revolution, has been a balancing role, and the EU should revive this role.